Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk, back again with another project for you, and this time it's showcasing some gorgeous products from the mini catalogue, that's the Spring 2020 catalogue, and some coordinating products from Celebration as well. So what you've got here is the fabulous honeybee stamp set, which you can see here, lovely bee images, floral images and a hive, as well as some useful sentiments actually. Hello, thank you. Oh, I don't need to read them out to you. Lovely sentiments. And it has some coordinating dies, so dies that cut out the hive as well as the two bee images, and it also has a lovely detailed bee with a sort of lacy wing as well. And then the fabulous bit about this is if you were to buy the bundle, then you would qualify for a Celebration item, which has got this lovely honeybee paper, which is gold foiled, super weight, and you can see here they're all double-sided as usual. So on the one side, that's the paper that I've used, I'm going to use again, but on the reverse you've got some fabulous patterns. So if you can see the gold foiling there, a lovely design, honeycomb design with the bees on the reverse. In fact, actually, we could use that one instead. I might actually use that one instead. So, change of mind. So, then on the next one, look at this. Gorgeous black with gold foiling. And on the reverse, you've got this lovely grid pattern. Then you've got more gold foiled bees. And the reverse is, again, a black and white hexagon design. Perfect for colouring as well. Gorgeous black and gold, very chic looking, would make super cards for those. And then on the reverse you've got this pretty trailing flower, which is the same pattern as the floral stamp set. Diagonal gold foiling, and again similar images to the other flowers, so you've got those interspersed with some larger ones as well. So a full pack of 12 by 12 cardstock, yours for free if you spend £45 during Celebration. So that's a real winner. And as I say, I might actually choose perhaps this card instead with the foiling on the other side. So what I've actually made, or what we're going to make today, is this lovely little it's a little sort of mini accordion card, mini album, gift card holder. But the idea is that once somebody's used their gift card, then actually what they could do is fill that with some pictures. So you could add some little notes to that. One of these could be your card, and then on the reverse, obviously there's space, you could also put some extra mats and layers in there. So not a new idea, there are lots of different versions out there, but you can see I've got this lovely detailed bee image here. I don't know if you can see, I've added a bit of shine to the wings there as well. So that's what we're going to make, so let's get on with it. So with some of the prep, I've already done it for you for me, because die cutting is difficult to show on a video, and also, you know, once you know how to die cut, it is the same. But what I will do is just remind you of how I do stamping when I'm doing multiple images as well. So to start off with, you're going to need a piece of DSP, which is 28 by 21 centimetres. If you can get one that's not directional, that actually helps. So I'm going to cut it at 21 centimetres to start off with. Pop that up out of the way with the lovely Stampin' Up trimmer that is available to you. Okay, so obviously that's a really useful piece that you can keep and use. And then just trim that down to 28. And the beauty of this is you could make it out of UK A4 cardstock as well if you wanted to. So if you wanted to make it with card and then decorate it with DSP afterwards, then that would work too. So once you've cut your DSP, obviously if it was directional, you double check. This one isn't, so I'm just going to go ahead and start my scoring. And you're going to score at every 7 centimetres. So that's at 7, 14 and 21. Then turn it and score on the short at 10 and a half. and you can't see those score lines very well, but they are there. And what you're going to do now is actually cut down this side at 3 centimetres down to this last score line. So if you pop it back in, and you can obviously mark it on here at 21 centimetres, which is just over 8 inches. So it's 8 1/4, and just cut like so. Only that's not right. That's because I was going to... Okay. Not going to cut it. I'm going to cut it 15 centimetres. I'm looking at the wrong measurements. Never mind. Right, at 15 centimetres. Okay, now I'm going to cut down. There we go. And I'm just going to cut up that last score line. Okay. Pop those bits to one side. Right. Okay. That was, I was looking at my slider measurements. So that's your basic piece of paper. It'll look like this, and we're going to do some cutting along this edge here and some punching. But while I've got my trimmer out, I'm going to cut the cardstock pieces for the middle, and I'm going to cut these at 9 centimetres, and you want 3 of them, and cut at 5 1/2. Okay, so 3 pieces of card at 9 by 5.5 centimetres, and then I want 3 pieces of Whisper White, which are 8 1/2 centimetres. Just flip that over because I've got my cut edge, and those are going to be by 5 centimetres. Obviously all the measurements will be on my blog as usual. Can't promise to get round to it at the same time. Life has been a little bit manic, and I'm playing catch up as always. So 3 pieces of Whisper White, 8 1/2 by 5 centimetres. Then you want a piece of I use basic smoky slate, but a piece of basic black is what I had intended to use originally. So I'm just going to take a piece of my basic black, and I'm going to cut a piece 9 1/2 by 9 1/2 centimetres. So 9 1/2 by 9 1/2, and this is where I'm going to score at 3 centimetres. Like so, and that's just going to create a little pocket to hold our gift card as well. So away we go. So coming back to the basic mini album. So the first thing you're going to do is cut straight up on this long piece here, like so. It may help you just to reinforce with your fingers very slightly. Don't forget that DSP, you don't need to do as much reinforcing as you do on a on cardstock. So if you're using DSP as I am, then that should work fine. Then what I'm going to do is cut up the middle of these score lines. The reason I'm doing that is because when you make a little concertina card, you end up with a bit of bulk there, so it doesn't always sit as nicely as you might like it to. So that's why I'm going to create it in this way. So you're folding the long piece backwards on itself and the 3 shorter pieces up to the front. Then all you're going to do is just to punch a hole in the side here with a 1-inch punch. It's just under, so a little bit like so. I do the first one, then I come in and punch my second one. It saves you punching through too many thicknesses and straining your punch, but it also means that you get it perfectly lined up. So we're going to do some stamping in a minute, but we'll do that while we're waiting for these to dry. So all you need to do is just put a very thin line of glue on each of these edges. Now I'm just using a fine tip glue adapter here. You could use your super sticky red tape if you wanted to. What you might find though is that sometimes that leaves a bit of sticky residue at the side, so for pockets that's not quite as good because things can get stuck to them, but it's very much your preference. So while those are sticking, and that's just a quick grab glue, so I'm just going to concertina those up on each other and then do the same on this pocket, or rather similar. I'm just going to run a little bit of glue along the back edge and then along the top edge here. Okay. And then pop that up like so. So if you find any of your edges aren't quite lining up, just reinforce your creases till they do. There we go. So that folds back on itself, and there's your basic little mini album. Okay, so that's ready for us to decorate. Now, in terms of the decoration, we've got some gorgeous things to do here. So what I have done is I have already stamped and die cut my beehive for the front here and my honeybee. But what I wanted to show you was one of the things I do, which I've done on a number of videos recently just to show you, is that if you've got the Stamparatus, it is a great way to stamp images and keep them and get them stamped and die cut really well. So what I do is in advance I usually die cut out of some thick cardstock or black cardstock the shape. Then I just cut lots of these out using just standard Whisper White cardstock. Really quick and easy, the sort of thing that you can do while you're sat in an evening maybe, and then all you need to do then is stamp your image onto your backing sheet and then pop your Whisper White one in, and there you have a perfect little bee which is ready for you to use. So that's a great way of getting lots of them ready to use. I've perhaps over inked that one a little bit, but that way you've got lots of lovely bees ready to use when you want them. And the great thing about that is because this hive shape is quite a solid shape, if you find it's a bit patchy you can go back in with the ink afterwards as well. Another great use for the Stamparatus. It's a considered purchase, but there are so many different things you can do with it. I really feel it's worth the money. I've got a little bit of an ink splotch on this one, but that's okay because I'm going to cover it up with something else in a moment, and that's going to be some of our words. So on a scrap piece of Whisper White that I've got here, I'm just going to stamp the curved words images out. In fact, I've got a smaller piece here I can use. Looks like that was a piece I used before. So wishing you sunshine and happiness, a lovely sentiment. And pop that to one side as well. And then on these three, I'm using my bee image, so I should just retrieve that from my Stamparatus. So I'm going to pop a couple of little bees on here. And then I'm going to come in with my floral images on a couple of these as well. So the lovely thing about this is we've got a matching pair. So rather than having to reverse the image, you can just stamp straight away. And again, you can choose how you want to do this. You can have it as it is across the top, you can pop it further down. And what I'm going to do is, once that's dry, I'm going to colour in just with a crushed curry marker. So I'm just going to add stripes to my bee, like so. And then I'm going to add my flower. ink away before I get in a mess. So now that should be fairly dry now. We've got this little pocket here for our gift card. Pop that. I should have done that earlier when I had my glue out. Just pinch that together. I'll pop that in the pocket just to hold it in place. I'm fingers and thumbs. Right, okay. There we go. So that's easy for you to pop your gift card in. And then what we're going to do now is add a couple of our little bees that we've already stamped onto there. So that acts as a little slider for our bee. So I'm just going to do the bee's bottom to start off with. Pop him there. And then flip over and add glue to the whole of this. And I suspect I'm going to run out of time as usual. Bit of a rush. Okay. And just line that up and just make sure it's lined up. You see I'm not quite aligned there, so just turn it over like so. So all we need to do is add these panels now to my pockets. I'm going to decorate one of the die cut bees as well to go in the middle, and then I'm going to just add our panels here. So my big bee, what I've done here is I've cut out a couple of scraps of basic black, which I shall pop behind my little bee. But this, I'm going to pop my hive on the front and add my bee just here, colouring in the stripes just to make it stand out, like so. With my bee here, I'm actually just going to colour it in with a little bit of I'm losing my words. So with this bee, I'm going to just ink over the top of the bee with yellow. Oh, there's actually my yellow. I'm going to find my grey, my smoky slate, and just ink those wings like so, and that will pop in the centre here. And then all I'm going to do with this last little bit is take my snips and I'm just going to cut all the way around, just a nice smooth curve, and I'm going to cut all the way around the outside, just trying to keep the same margin all the way around. And then you can always add a bit of wink of Stella to your wings if you like, or to anything else just to accent it. And just cut, before you cut the words up, add some dimensional strips to the back. Like so. And if we just add this all the way around, this is easier than trying to fiddle with little individual bits. So curve it around, snip as you go through, and then those will pop, covering my little ink smut. This is where I find I've lost one of them.